So much for joining us. Up first, the Court of Appeal has overturned the convictions of alleged gang leader Tesha Miller in connection with the 2008 murder of former Jamaica Urban Transit Company chairman Douglas Chambers and has ordered a retrial. In its ruling on Friday, the court set aside Miller's convictions and entered verdicts of acquittal, while ordering a new trial in the interest of justice. Akeem Orit has the details.
The legal landscape shifted dramatically Friday morning as the appellate court ruled in favor of Tesha Miller, quashing his convictions for accessory before and after the fact to murder. The court also ordered that Miller be retried within 6 months following the completion of another matter currently before the courts. Defense attorney Isat Buchanan, who represented Miller alongside John Clark, welcomed the decision, pointing to what he described as critical flaws in the original trial. Mr. Buchanan argued that a key issue arose during jury selection, where senior counsel Bert Samuels was reportedly prevented from exercising a juror challenge.
The court now decided based on the law in the Offences Against the Persons Act that accessory before the fact is treated in the same manner as murder, and therefore the preemptory challenge ought to have been 4. And the judge barring the strike rendered the trial a nullity.
While the court entered acquittals, it nonetheless ordered a retrial on the count of accessory before the fact to murder, a move the defense says is significant.
There was also a legal issue before the court in relation to how the accessory before the fact can be treated in circumstances where the principal, as you know, was acquitted, the principal being Blackman. Now, certainly, we look forward to seeing what a retrial would look like in the circumstances, because that is said to take place 6 months after the current proceedings that's before the Supreme Court.
With a retrial now looming, the defense maintains it is prepared to challenge the case again, particularly if questions remain about the handling and the presentation of evidence. Buchanan also acknowledged progress within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, noting improvements in investigative practices while stressing the need for continued development in evidence collection and presentation.
The citizens is to continue to trust the process, and the process again goes all the way to the Privy Council if it has to go there. But as I said, we do have a Court of Appeal that is competent. And when it comes to the legalities of any trial process, the advancement in jurisprudence always to be a key factor.
Despite Friday's outcome, Isat Buchanan rejected the notion that the decision shifts the balance of power between the defense and the prosecution.
Defense win cases and prosecutions do justice. I hope it remains that way, where the prosecution is not in competition to win cases, but to do justice. And that's very important for our justice system to work.
Akeem Oret for CVM News.
Meanwhile, the statement of a deceased, Alfred Johnson, was admitted into evidence in the ongoing Klansman gang trial in the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston. The dead man's statement detailed the account of what took place on April 18, 2020, which resulted in the death of William Christian. Carl Ramdeen was in court.
The prosecution successfully applied to have the statement of the deceased Alfred Johnson admitted into evidence, despite objections from the defense. Defense opposed the application on 3 grounds: that Johnson's death had not been sufficiently proven, that the statement lacked relevance and probative value as it did not identify the accused, and that admitting the statement would be unfair as the defense would not have the opportunity to cross-examine its maker. The Crown argued that the statement met the legal requirements for admissibility, noting that Johnson is deceased and that the statement is relevant to the case. The court heard from the prosecution's 17th witness, a detective sergeant, who testified that he visited Johnson at the Spanish Town Hospital, where he asked him to give a statement in relation to the April 18, 2020 incident, which resulted in the death of William Christian. The witness said he saw Johnson on multiple occasions afterwards and was able to clearly observe his face. He also testified that he later attended a cemetery in St. Catherine where he viewed Johnson's body and obtained a funeral program. Further evidence was given by the prosecution's eighth witness, who stated that she took a statement from Johnson and spent approximately 2 hours with him. In his ruling, the judge found that the prosecution had established that Alfred Johnson is deceased based on the evidence of the 17th witness. He also accepted that the 18th witness had sufficient interaction with Johnson when taking his statement, rejecting the defense's suggestion that she would not have adequate opportunity to observe him. On the issue of relevance, the judge ruled that Johnson's statement forms part of the evidential matrix of the case. The judge further ruled that admitting the statement would not render the trial unfair, noting the tribunal of fact would be aware that the make of the statement is unavailable for cross-examination. Justice Palmer emphasized that the ruling only relates to admissibility and not to the weight to be attached to the statement. The statement was therefore admitted into evidence. The men charged in relation to the murder of William Christian and shooting with intent of Alfred Johnson are the accused Michael Wildman and Lamar Rowe. The two are among 25, including the alleged lead of the Klansman gang Tesha Miller, indicted on 32 counts under the Criminal Justice Suppressions of Criminal Organization Act. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
The St. Thomas Municipal Corporation is providing building owners in the parish with an amnesty period of 3 months to ensure all buildings in the parish are safe and are up to engineering codes and standards. According to CEO of the corporation, Kevin McIndoe, the structures need to be in accordance with Section 21 of the Town and Country Plan Act and Section 18 of the Building Act. He's urging compliance instead of penalty.
Ensure there's compliance, primarily to ensure that the buildings in the parish are safe to use basic engineering standards. And persons who will comply after the amnesty period, they will have to pay a rich fee, which can be as much as 50% of the cost of the building that
Close to 100 people are still sheltering in 8 schools nearly 5 months after Hurricane Melissa tore through parts of the island. However, Crystal Williams reports internet has been restored in roughly 7 of every 10 affected schools.
Nearly 5 months after Hurricane Melissa rocked the island, more than half a dozen schools are still being used as shelters, housing close to 100 shelterees.
So we have one with 3, one with 1, one with 1, one with 7, one with 8. The highest number is still at Petersfield with 40 shelteries.
700 of the just over 1,000 public schools impacted by Hurricane Melissa now have broadband to bring internet across their classrooms.
We are over 700 schools with broadband, which means that we have done the work, the cabling, to bring the internet to the schools. We are not 100% complete with that yet. But this transformation program is an 8-year program. But by the end of the mid-year, which is another 2 years, we should be able to complete the full building out of the ICT in our schools. We have a lot more to do.
In the meantime, there has been a 5% increase in the progress of the Transforming Education for National Development Trend Plan, now at 37%, up from 32% at the last quarterly briefing. This according to the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETOC. Chairman Dr. Adrian Stokes says it